Hello and welcome to this Pants webinar for parents and carers. In this brief session, you're going to hear a bit about the Talk Pants campaign, some of the resources you can use to support you in having conversations that can help to keep children safe. And I hope after the session, you'll be able to visit the website and get more information to support you with these conversations. My name's Emma Motherwell. I'm a local campaigns manager for the NSPCC, and I'm going to be taking you through the session today. Before we start the session, it's just a good opportunity to check the volume on your device. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. If not, you may want to increase the volume to ensure you get the most out of the webinar and the videos that we show. It's best to view the webinar in full screen mode to make sure that you can view the video and presentation slides. And just a safeguarding reminder that obviously the topic of sexual abuse is not an easy one to be thinking or talking about. So please take some time if you need to after the session and contact us if you have any further concerns or worries. I'll be sharing the NSPCC helpline number as part of the session today. So let's start by talking a bit about the aim of the Talk Pants campaign. So Talk Pants is really about supporting you as parents and carers to have really simple conversations with children that can teach them how to stay safe from sexual abuse. Just to begin by saying, but of course it's never the responsibility of a child to keep themselves safe, and we never want a child to think this. But one of the key things we can do by having these conversations is teach them some really simple rules that can support them within their own safety. One of the key things about the rule is that you never have to actually use the word sex or sexual abuse with your child, and they're not contained within the PANTS rules themselves. The PANTS campaign has been hugely successful over the last years and has been used by parents across the UK to have these conversations with their children in an age-appropriate way. We know that due to the number of people who have sadly experienced sexual abuse or have supported someone who has, we recognise that that might be the case of some of you listening to the webinar today, and we acknowledge the potential impact that that might have on you. So we'd encourage you to practice self-care after you've listened to this session. If you'd like to speak to somebody, we'll be sharing the NSPCC helpline number with you and signposting you to other adult support networks that might be useful. Back to the PANTS campaign then. So when the Talk PANTS campaign was first developed, we started with what we knew. We knew that sadly too many children are not speaking out. 1 in 3 children who have experienced sexual abuse by an adult didn't tell anybody at the time. And we also knew, of course, that for children, parents and carers play an absolutely fundamental role in helping children to have the confidence to speak up about things that have happened to them. In consulting with parents prior to the PANTS campaign launching, we asked what subjects parents did talk to their children about. Stranger danger featured most often, for example. And most parents and carers were unaware then that actually children are much more likely to be sexually abused by somebody that they know. We've reached over 950,000 parents in the UK with this rule, and the campaign still continues to receive positive feedback on how it's helped parents and carers to have these really important conversations with their children. So as we go into thinking about how we have these conversations with young people, there are some natural concerns, or there might be some ways of thinking or feeling that you can see on screen here. Perhaps it's not something that you've considered before, it's not been on your radar. Perhaps you have concerns about your child being too young and how you approach this so that it doesn't scare or upset them. But what PANTS does is take a potentially tricky subject and gives you the tools to talk about it in a way that's engaging and appropriate for young people. And that's why it was developed. It was developed to make it easier for parents and children to have all those important conversations that can help to keep them safe. In fact, pants wasn't an entirely new concept. It was taken from the Council of Europe's underwear rule, and so you might hear it called the underwear rule in other circumstances. But that's all about teaching children that their body belongs to them, they have the right to say no to unwanted touch, and they should always tell someone if something happens to make them feel upset or worried. So let's go through each element of the pants rule. P stands for privates are private. So underwear and swimwear covers up your private parts, and that means that privates are private. Explain to your child that no one should ask to see or touch their private parts, those covered by their underwear or their swimwear, or should they be asking them to look or touch anyone else's. A stands for always remember your body belongs to you. So let your child know that their body belongs to them and no one else. No one has the right to make them do anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. And if someone asks to see or tries to touch them underneath their underwear, they should try to say no. And that's where N comes in. N stands for no means no. This is helping a child to understand they have the right to say no to unwanted touch, even to a family member or someone they know or love. So this shows them that they're in control of their body and that their feelings should be respected. T stands for talk about secrets that upsets you. So your child needs to feel able to talk about secrets that worry them and be confident that saying anything won't get them into trouble. You might want to explain the differences between okay and not okay secrets. So not okay secrets make you feel sad or worried or frightened, might give you a funny feeling in your tummy. Whereas okay secrets might be things like surprise birthday parties or presents that will make you feel good and excited. And of course, these secrets are always shared in the end. They will never get in trouble by sharing a secret that upsets them. And S stands for speak up, someone can help. So if they ever feel sad, anxious or frightened, they should try to speak out and talk to someone that they trust, an adult that they trust. Remind them whenever the problem, it's not their fault and they will not get in trouble for speaking up ever. Starting to talk Panks with your child is all about weaving in simple conversations about staying safe into your daily routine. And that stops it feeling like a big deal or weird for the child and just gives it a really relaxed feel to have little conversations often throughout the day. Parents often tell us that car journeys are a good time to speak with their child, so they're in a comfortable setting, they've got limited distractions, and it can sometimes feel more comfortable for you both as you don't have to be in direct eye-to-eye contact and can have an easy flow of conversation. Others tell us they like to walk and talk, so whether it's on the way to or home from school, maybe at the weekend together walking to the shops, again a really easy situation to have a stroll and a chat together. There are also times of day when it's more relevant to be talking about the pants messaging. For example, when you're helping to get them dressed, getting changed for bath time, you can have a conversation then about what is covered by their underwear or swimwear and where there might be times when a trusted adult might need to support them. TV can often make children aware of tricky topics, so your child might have heard a story on the news, or a favourite soap might be handling a sensitive storyline. It gives you an opportunity to explain it to your child in a way that they will understand and gives them that encouragement to talk about anything that's upsetting them. In terms of how to have these conversations, then, you know your child better than anyone else, and you will be able to gauge when you think they're ready for these conversations and how much detail you want to go into. One of the good parts of conversations is to enable your child to respond to questions. So you could ask them, do you think keeping secrets is right? What would they ever do if they were scared or worried? And then let them say whatever they think. Give them time to answer and listen intently to what they say. And that listening is a really key aspect of having these conversations. It seems really simple, doesn't it, to say actively listen, but actually in everyday life with other things going on, it can be hard to give that 100% attention, but it's really important for these conversations. Using words and phrases that your child will understand is a great place to start. Don't be afraid to introduce the proper names of body parts. It will really help you to be clear and show that there's nothing to be embarrassed about. The more open and relaxed you are, the more your child will feel safe to talk to you about anything that's worrying them. Of course, it may be that you're ready to have the conversation, but they're not. So if your child isn't interested in the time that you try and talk to them about it, don't force the issue. Wait for another opportunity, another time, where they can be better engaged in the conversation. Then, of course, there's always those tricky areas. So conversations about right and wrong aren't easy. Even when we talk to children about not letting people touch their private parts, for example, we do have to make exceptions, such as visits to the doctor. So using scenarios is a good way to aid their understanding and explain any confusion they might have over any of the messages. Using books and stories also really helps it with weaving in conversations in a way that they can understand and ask questions in a really comfortable way, perhaps talking about the characters in a book rather than their own personal questions. Getting your child to think about all the people in their life that they can trust is really useful. So it shows your child that even if they feel they can't tell you something for whatever reason, or in the circumstance they're in at the time, they should never feel alone and they should never have to keep a worry to themselves. If, as part of these conversations, your child does tell you something, it is going to be a huge relief for them to be able to tell you. Whatever you think and feel, react with love, support, openness, and reassurance. There's support and advice for you as well. So you may want to contact our NSPCC helpline on 0808 800 5000, where our experts are there to give you advice and support if your child says anything that worries you in any way. If it's nothing to worry about, at least you will feel assured that you've checked it out. If there are bigger concerns, then we can support you too. So we have support for you via our helpline, on the phone and online. One of the ways that we help children to engage with the PANTS rules is through our friendly dinosaur mascot, Pantosaurus. So Pantosaurus helps us share the PANTS rules with children in a fun and engaging way. And I'm going to show you next a video that you can use and you can play with your child to start introducing some of the PANTS rules. We also have loads of Pantosaurus resources on the NSPCC website. One of the ways that we help children to learn the PANTS rules is with the support of our friendly dinosaur mascot, Pantosaurus. So Pantosaurus features on a lot of our PANTS materials, and we have a short animation that helps children to learn the PANTS rules, which I'm going to play for you now.
This is Pantosaurus. He's going to help us with our song about pants.
Pants, pants, Pantosaurus, pants, pants, Pantosaurus, pants, pants, Pantosaurus, pants, pants.
What's in your pants belongs only to you. Your pants cover up your private parts.
Your private parts belong only to you. If someone asks to see, just tell them no.
Pants, pants, Pantosaurus, pants, pants, Pantosaurus.
Pantosaurus likes to wear his pants. He wears them all day long. They cover up his private parts, and that's what makes him strong. If someone asks to see or tries to touch him underneath them, he tells them no, then tells someone he trusts and likes to speak to.
What's in your pants belongs only to you. Your pants cover up your private parts. Your private parts belong only to you. If someone asks to see, just tell them no.
If someone asks to see or tries to touch under your pants and says to keep it secret, then you must tell them no. Then go and find someone you trust and tell them straight away. They'll say, well done for speaking out and make everything okay.
What's in your pants belongs only to you. Your pants cover up your private parts. Your private parts belong only to you. If someone asks to see, just tell them no.
Sing along, everybody, it's your turn.
What's in your pants belongs only to you. Your pants cover up your private parts. Your private parts belong only to you. If someone asks to see, just tell them no. If someone asks to see, just tell them no.
As well as the Pantosaurus video, parent guides, we also have a PANTS app which you can use to talk about the PANTS rules with your child. So you can download that after today and have fun with your children whilst also reinforcing the messages of the PANTS rule. All the resources for the PANTS rule and supporting those conversations are available on the NSPCC website. I hope this brief session has given you a good introduction into what the pants rules are and some of the tips to have those conversations with your children. For further information after the session today, please visit the NSPCC website for all the tips around having these conversations, our pants guides, we have Makaton guides, and we also have videos on there that you can access as well. You can sign up for an email for tips and advice around talking pants with your children to further support you in having these conversations regularly with children to keep them safe. I'd just like to close the session by inviting you to do 3 things after you log off today. The first, of course, talk to your children about pants in the way that you feel is right and at the opportunity that you feel is right for your children. Help us to spread the word, whether it's with friends or family or colleagues, whether it's through social media, so we can get as many people as possible talking pants and keeping children safe. And of course, visit the NSPCC website for more resources. Thank you very much for listening today, and that's the end of the webinar.